Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Bill and Cheryl here. A little different today in that we have guests in the kitchen. There's Amy behind the camera. So Cheryl and I don't have to take turns. And Todd is sitting over at the bar.
Cheers.
So we'll check in with Todd periodically. The first thing I wanted to say is it's been a crazy week, and we've been cognizant of everything going on in the country right now. Cheryl and I just wanted to say that we are 100% behind the Black Lives Matter movement and anybody who is peacefully demonstrating for that cause. So with that,
I guess I could just add, stay educated, be open-hearted, be kind, and listen to one another. It's going to be really important as we continue to go through this together to support all of our friends and family.
So this week we have our good friend Paul Pfau. So let me bring Paul and MK into the picture. Hold on.
Stand by.
Ta-da! Hey guys.
Hello. Sorry, I had to unmute
Sorry,
us.
we were muted.
Yep.
So we can.
How are you doing?
Hang on 2 seconds. Technical.
Did we freeze?
No, you're fine. I just needed to adjust some volume.
We were just turning the volume up.
Paul needs to come down.
Hey, Paul, we need your
There you
your
go.
head in there. There you go.
Now see you, Paul.
Stop being so
Ready to
tall.
cook some food?
Yeah.
We are. How about you guys?
Ready,
We're ready.
prepped, ready to go.
Why don't you tell everybody where you are and where you're cooking from?
So today we're coming at you from just north of Los Angeles. We came out here because MK got a new job right before the pandemic hit and we got locked down. So we rushed to get out here to just be quarantined in place. But we've been doing a lot of cooking. We're in our lovely Arvitha home. We cook a lot. This is going to be super fun for us. I'm the breakfast guy. She's the dinner girl. And we just switch back and forth. So since this is more of like a dinnery dish, what we're doing today, MK is going to do most of the work. I'm going to just be like the sidecar and try to help as much as I can.
So for those of you that don't know, Paul's an amazing musician and guitar player that we've known for many years. We've done several shows together. And Paul, how long has it been? A year or more? You guys decided to leave the apartment living world and move into an RV, which makes a lot of sense for a musician because you travel a lot. But MK, you've decided to travel along with him on that experience. What is that like?
So I actually grew up camping in RVs just like this, not renovated, but my family and I grew up camping every weekend, long holidays. So this was nothing new to me. Owning one is definitely different because you have to learn how to maintain it and everything. But I think I'm more the one who pushed us into doing this than it was really an idea and like a 5-year plan for Paul. And I was like, let's do it now. So
Let's go.
MK, didn't you find Arvitha?
I did. I found her. I knew she was the one. I called the dealership down in Florida. We were still in Nashville. And I said, how much do I need to pay you to hold this RV for me? We're coming to get it. And we did.
That's awesome. Well, I'm sure a lot of people on here that know both of you and love you have followed along to that transformation. But at some point, once we get through a little bit of the prep work here, maybe you guys can just give us a quick look-see.
Yeah. We do have a kind of a short tether with that camera, but I'll definitely I can pan and
long
point.
and wide.
Yeah, I just pan and point.
So why don't you give us a little bit about the description about your dish, and then Bill and I will talk about ours.
Cool. Okay, so we're making cheesy chicken enchiladas. Paul loves enchiladas, and I've only made them once in our over 3-year relationship. So I figured now
Why not?
never, because he loves them. So we're gonna do some enchiladas. So yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, since you guys are the star of the show and it's
I
a
don't
dish
know if
for
we're
dish,
frozen or they're frozen.
we're
It'll
pairing
come back.
things
It
to go
always
along
comes
with
back.
it.
We got campground Wi-Fi. If we're even still streaming right now.
Yeah.
We hear you. You're
We
good.
can hear you.
I was
Okay,
gonna
good.
say,
Okay, good.
we're if that happens, we're just gonna sit here and smile.
Okay, no worries. So I am going to do long grain rice. The cool thing about this particular program is you live in a home that's on wheels. And so convenience and timing and just, that lifestyle is giving us a view into how you guys prep maybe between work and, touring, that kind of thing, things that you like to do in that style. And then we're taking you through a side dish that is cooked on the stovetop long grain rice, but it'll have leeks, lime, and a citrus aspect to it as far as some garnish of cilantro along with a little lime and agave.
And what I'm going to make is a margarita. It is a margarita that was first introduced to us as a margarita that takes 3 days to make. And over time, I've figured out a way to make it in about 20 minutes. So it has a lot of flavor. It is a roasted poblano cilantro margarita. So I'm going to make, actually I already made a simple syrup, and then I'm going to infuse the roasted poblano and some cilantro into it, and then we'll go ahead and we'll make the tequila with that. So that's the plan for today.
The only
So
bummer
we're
is
gonna
you
keep
can't
it
try
back
each
to-
other's food.
Oh, good.
I want to try it like that poblano.
We'll send you some.
Yeah, email
So
it.
we're going to let you guys kick it off as far as beginning on your prep. We'll go on mute. We have Todd monitoring the computer. So those of you that are watching today, ask questions, interact, let us know what you're thinking. This is really kind of fun for us to have friends here and not having to manipulate the camera and handing it off back and forth. So thank you, Amy Hackett, and thank you, Todd Price. All right, over to you guys.
All right, awesome. Okay, so tiny living, definitely you learn tricks of cooking. Instant Pot is my favorite thing ever, tiny living or big living. But this is the best tool ever. I use it to cook probably every night. Something that I'm making goes in the Instant Pot, and I love it. So first, I'm going to start out using the saute function on the Instant Pot. It is great. It does a million things if you're unfamiliar. So I just hit the saute. I'm going to saute my garlic and onions that we're starting out with for the enchilada sauce. Onions in, minced garlic in, and I'm just going to let that saute for a few minutes. Paul is not a onion texture loving guy, so anytime I cook with onions, which is a lot, I have to really let them get nice and soft and transparent so that he just knows they're there by flavor but not by texture. Right?
Right. Totally right. I don't love onions. I like the flavor.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stand in the back, just be a creepy person.
Just like pop your hand between my arms. How am I doing?
I'm here for support.
Yep. Also, this recipe calls you can add jalapeno to what you're sauteing in your enchilada sauce, but Paul is also not a fan of spicy, so we skip that anytime there's a lot of spice to something. I just kind of either cut it in half or don't do it at all so that he's not too overwhelmed with spiciness. He's not a fan. Did you just pour water on yourself? Oh,
That's how
God.
useful that I am.
Yeah. Listen, everyone watching, he does do a great breakfast and a mean cup of coffee, but
Yeah, my expertise in the kitchen stops at like 11 a.m. It's like I'll make coffee, I'll make a big breakfast spread, but she does the dinnery stuff.
yeah. Yep. And if you want,
I'm gonna open it.
assistant, you can get out the chicken broth.
Okay. The refrigerated,
Here.
already measured out. This
Yep,
chicken broth, or do you want different chicken broth?
that chicken broth, just so I have it ready.
Okay.
And if you want to use
Can open.
can opener, careful because it's a liquid. So, does anyone get such a satisfied feeling out of the sound of sautéing things?
I like the
I don't
smell.
The smells, the sound. Love it. Megan said we're matching. We had that conversation before we started this, and it tends to happen a lot just because we both wear all black all the time, and then it's summertime, so now we'll wear a light wash denim. But I feel like we always match, and it is what it is. We can't avoid it.
I'll grab that.
There's towels here and here.
I just want it like this. I didn't want to get.
Paul made a mess already.
No, it's just the lid. The lid of the can. Where do you want me to put these, or just wait? We're gonna just dump them right in.
Wait. Just another minute or two on this, and then I can add chicken broth, tomato sauce, and some yummy spices into the mix for the enchilada sauce, which we'll put into the tortillas and also covered on top, which will be really, really yummy. I'm like trying to watch his margarita recipe at the same time. It sounds so good.
So far, all we're doing is squeezing a lot of lime.
Squeezing a lot of lime.
Squeeze it. Squeeze it.
We squeezed 3 limes for the rice, and now I'm squeezing, I don't know, 6 or 8 limes for our margaritas.
Oh my gosh. Yum. That just sounds so refreshing. It feels okay it's 11 a.m. here in LA, but since this is such a refreshing drink you're making, I feel like it's okay to drink it at 11 a.m. on a Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. It's just a fancy Bloody Mary without the bloody or the Mary.
Yes.
And if anybody's interested, MK actually has a pretty epic Pinterest board for Instant Pot recipes. I saw I think Jen Bowman or somebody had said that they hadn't used their Instant Pot in a while. MK's got a really good list that we could probably share here, or if you just send us a message, we could send it to you.
It's awesome. The Instant Pot is great for tiny living.
Yeah, we use it literally every day.
All right. Okay, now I have the onions where I want them for Paul's sake. So I'm going to add in a cup of chicken broth.
Back on top.
Yep. I love that noise. And then I have 2 cans of tomato sauce that I'll be adding in. It's like ASMR. Is that what
Yeah.
it's
I don't know if they can hear it. I don't know if I'm in the way of the mic, but
I'm sure they can still hear. Okay. And I have a bunch of spices here. This is cumin. This is chili powder, salt and pepper, sugar, and this is going to give it a bunch of flavor. Gonna stir it all up. Get it really nice and combined, because next I'll be adding in the chicken and setting it to cook. And it's simple as that. All right.
Just so you guys know, if you do send money with this link, we are splitting it. It's like I think it's funny because MK's doing all the work, and I'm like, yeah, send money to Paul. But yeah, what is mine is hers, right?
And yeah, what's mine is mine, and what's yours is mine too, right?
Yes, exactly. So now I got the chicken breasts.
Yep, I've got 3 medium-sized chicken breasts here. I'm just gonna drop them in there. Don't worry, I will wash my hands very well. I had a salmonella scare. If anyone is close enough to me to know that phase, Paul and I didn't eat chicken for like, how long was that?
Like a year almost, I feel like.
I was traumatized by it. But it wasn't of my own doing. It was at a restaurant. Okay. All right. So now the chicken breast is in there. And I'm going to
Sorry, guys.
close the Instant Pot.
Mirror image.
Make sure it's sealed. And I am going to make sure it's sealed. And let's see. I'm going to cook it on cancel the saute, high pressure for 10 minutes. And then we'll be good. Do you want to?
Should we send it back to you guys?
Yes,
Because
back
we're just
over
gonna.
to you, Cheryl.
All right, here we
I'm
go.
gonna start first in the- All right, so the first time I saw this done, I thought it was crazy. But come on all the way over. We have gas. Obviously, you can't do this if you have electric stove, but so we've got gas going, and I'm just going to put it on there, our poblano, on the gas stove, and we're going to blister it on all 4 sides, and then we're going to put it. You can hear it starting to crackle. I've got my tongs here, so I'm not going to flip it with my own hands, but as soon as we get it blistered on all 4 sides, then I'm going to put it in a plastic bag while it cools. And when you do that, it's going to steam inside. And the whole reason to do all of this, it does cook the inside, but most of what we're trying to do is the skin is going to peel off super easy once you've done this and that. Now, if you don't have a gas stove, which a lot of people don't, I would use the broiler. So just put it in the broiler, turn it, try and get it blistered on all 4 sides in the broiler. Still put it in the plastic bag, let it cool for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to show you what we do with it after that. But you can see how it's starting to blister, and you just want it black. It's going to be burned, and that's fine because all of that's going to come off. All that burned part's going to come off. So the other way to do it is to grill it. Obviously, you get a different flavor, a good flavor if you put it on the grill. But if you don't have a grill, you can do this. So I'm going to turn it over to Cheryl now to start the rice, and I'll keep working on my poblano.
Great, thanks. I'm going to be doing the rice. And sorry, like we talked about earlier, it's going to be a long grain. So we're cooking it. It's a 20-minute process on top of the stove. I am using not chicken broth, but vegetable broth. Obviously, we do a lot of cooking, and when you're taking all the peelings off an onion or the peelings off garlic, or you have leftover stems of a variety of vegetables, shavings from your carrots, throw it in a Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer, and just simple water and the vegetables. I usually let mine cook for about 40 minutes and then just turn it off and let it steep, almost like a tea. The ratio for this recipe is about 2 cups of broth. You can go a little more if you really want to moisturize. You go a little bit less if you want a drier rice, which is what we're kind of doing today, because we're going to be adding that lime and agave as sort of a vinaigrette almost to the rice when it's done. So that's step 1. We're going to get this brought up because we start by boiling it. So we're going to bring that up. The next step is you'll see a bowl of water here. I put 1 cup of long grain rice, and you see how milky that is? A lot of that starch is what we want to get off of there. It does really help when you do a pre-rinse on your rice to keep it from sticking and getting too glutinous. What's going in the broth is a leek. And what we'll start by is explaining that leeks are grown in sand. And so there is a lot of sand that gets stuck inside the plant itself. And so what I'm going to just show you is, this is the way we do it. Cut off the end, slice it in half, and you see how you can kind of fan this out. I can kind of feel a little bit of the sand. Sometimes it's more prevalent than others, but I'm just going to give it a quick rinse in the sink. So you can see I'm just fanning it out and letting that water go from the thick end down to the thin, just to get that out of there. I sure wish we had smell-o-vision. If you could just smell that poblano roasting on top of the stove, it's crazy. All right. So that's it for this. And I know Paul's not necessarily a fan of onions. Leeks are in the onion family, but they're a little milder. And when you cook them up, they just give a nice texture and a nice overall flavor. So I just sliced it in thirds lengthwise, and I'm just giving it a rough chop. Try to keep them as even as possible. And then if you'll remember from the last time we did Knife Skills 1-on-1, you can see the tip of the knife really doesn't come up. You just kind of rock it back and forth. Make sure you've got your knuckles turned under. Try not to cut yourself, especially since I know Billy just sharpened our knives this weekend. And you don't want to take off any pieces and parts of your body. All righty. So
It would add flavor.
So in it goes. The other thing I'm going to do is add some garlic. I don't know if you're familiar with CSA, Community Sourced Agriculture. CSA is typically a buy-in to local farms. And what you can do is, it's almost like a membership, wouldn't you say, Todd? We used to do it when we were in Northern Virginia. And quite honestly, it is one of the best things around, because you are getting ingredients that are just coming out of the field that week. We used to call it a market basket. And so we always would create meals around whatever we found in the box.
So this came from?
This came from the CSA, all the way from Atlanta. It is as fresh as you can get.
And carried by Mr. Todd Price.
Very much so. You've probably heard me say this before. I'm not a real fan of biting into garlic. So I am going to do a little bit of a paste. You've seen me do this before. A little bit of salt. I've already chopped the garlic. And then I'm just going to start a dragging process with the knife. And what that does is it kind of helps make that paste. So when you put it in the broth, it's going to marry very well. And none of your guests should actually chomp down on a big old chunk. Todd, any questions from the fans out there? I know Megan and Jen are there. They've seen me do this before.
No questions other than people wanting to know more about Insta-pot recipes.
Well, I think we heard that MK has a Instagram
Pinterest.
Pinterest page just for that. So definitely go there. All right. I'm just getting ready to rinse the rice.
Want to throw it back to them for a minute?
Yep, throw it back to them for a minute and then I'll rinse.
You guys ready?
Unmute.
You want mute, Paul?
Unmute, Paul.
There you go.
All right, we're unmuted. We're still here. MK has been putting vegetable oil on the tortillas, and And then what we're gonna put that.
So what's happening now, I'm just lightly adding vegetable oil to these. I'm going to stick them in the oven for a few minutes so they get nice and pliable. And then another cool thing about Tiny Living is our microwave is a convection oven. So we bake in our what looks like a microwave, but it is also truly an oven and truly bakes things. We have an actual oven too, but it is propane, and RV propane ovens cook very inconsistently. So you'll get something like, let's say for a cake, you'll get burnt some places and then completely raw in other places. So we just stick to the convection oven, and our propane oven is our bread box. So it's storage. Every square inch counts when you're tiny living. So I'm going to preheat the oven, get that going. I also have to prep. Once these are done, after sitting in the oven for a few minutes, then I have cheese here. This is sharp cheddar and Monterey Jack that is shredded and mixed up together. So this portion, all of this yummy cheese is going to go into the enchiladas with the chicken and enchilada sauce. And then I have another whole bowl that will go on top and just be cheesy and amazing. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
That's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
And for those of you who are asking about the Instant Pot recipes on Pinterest, MK's profile, I think, is just pinterest.com and then /MK MacArthur.
Or Mary Catherine MacArthur.
Well,
I'm not sure.
I'll check.
I'll have to find it. It's an old Pinterest, and literally all that I use it for now is to find recipes and Instant Pot recipes. But yeah, it's out there, and I've shared it with so many friends because
it's MK MacArthur, and it's called Getting Domestic is the actual pin. So I don't know if someone can the actual board is called Getting Domestic. I think there's a bunch of recipes on there, but there is like a separate tab or something for just the Instant Pot stuff. We've cooked most of those, not all of them, but they're all very
Name
good.
some favorites. There's
pot
roast.
There's a Korean beef that we've made that's really good. I should probably get in front of the microphone. But there's a Korean beef we made that was very good. There is
the pot roast is
pot
really
roast.
good.
Yeah, pot roast is very good. We do awesome spaghetti, chicken and rice. When I say we, I always mean she.
There is a Tuscany chicken pasta that I really like that has sun-dried tomatoes. That's like one of my favorite things.
Yeah. There's
hey
lots
guys,
of,
I
lots
thought
of
I'd
stuff.
just give you a quick hit as to what I did to finish up the rice right as it's cooking. I threw the leek in, which you know. I threw in a little salt and pepper, and I took the rind of a lime and put that in there so that it's easy to pull out. You don't want bitterness, but I do want some of the oils from it to infuse into that rice as it's cooking. So I brought it to a boil. I'm going to cover it, and then we're going to go 20 minutes on it. Thanks.
I actually made up a joke recently.
I don't know what this is going to be, by the way. So
I was at the grocery store. If you guys have time, I don't know if you want to hear it, but
Go for it.
basically, it's like, why did the man get arrested at the grocery store? For taking a leak.
oh my
Oh.
I apologize in advance.
Hey, Paul, be careful because you're cutting off your head. So scoot down.
Well, there's a pretty big height differential here, so we have to just find
Yeah,
middle ground.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I'm only 5'3" and Paul is like 6'3", 6'4", so we're not
Hey,
all
Paul,
gonna
how about a good time to introduce a video?
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
How about
So
Rock by the Sea teaser?
yeah, it's from Rock by the Sea. We're at Rock by the Stream. Ben Jackson, a total sweetheart, came up with this great idea to do 80s covers for this online music festival. And so this is already aired, but they are releasing each song separately. And so the song I covered is Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears. And we just went over the top, got super 80s on it. And so this is just a little teaser of that. It's a little 90-second clip of that video, which will be coming out, I think, in the next few weeks. And if you don't know anything about Rock by the Sea, I feel like a lot of the people in the comments that I've seen names pop up are familiar. But it's a charity children's cancer charity, and we do music festivals a few times a year and raise money. So you can go to rockbythesea.org if you want to learn more. But for now, we're just going to show you this 80s inspired video.
Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room tumbling down. When they do, I'll be right behind you. So glad we've almost made it. So sad they had to fade it. Everybody wants to rule the world. I can't stand this indecision. Married with a lack of vision. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Are we back?
Yep.
And we're back.
Oh gosh.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
So now I'm going to be like this for the rest of the video.
Cool.
Oh, nice hat.
Yeah.
You know, it's got to keep it consistent, you know?
Oh, Megan, thank you for linking that
Oh,
in
Megan.
the comments.
Woo woo. Thank you, Megan.
Woo-hoo.
Also, Colin asked about what an Insta-pot is. I guess in the UK they don't have.
Which is
Insta-pots.
devastating.
It's honestly like it's like a crock pot on lots of steroids.
You can saute, you can make rice, you can make stews, broths, you can use it as a slow cooker. It's a pressure cooker. Like, it literally does a million things. But I like what I'm seeing at Cheryl and Bill's right now.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that stuff. So
Oh my goodness. Look at all that.
the tequila thing. So MK is actually allergic to tequila or
I'm
to
allergic
agave.
to agave.
And I just never got on the train. So
But we like alcohol.
yeah.
I'm pro alcohol.
Okay.
And we're back.
So I'll do the poblano real quick. Normally I would do this over the garbage can, really, but you can see how it's all blistered and the skin is starting to come off.
You want to scrape it?
No,
Okay.
I'm good.
You go for it.
I'm just using my fingers to kind of slide across it, and I'm just going to take off all that skin.
I have a little trick. I massage it a little bit while it's in the bag, and it helps loosen that up. So even before you go to that step, it helps get it started.
And then the other thing I'm going to do is take off the stem, and usually take out these seeds that are in here.
Oh,
We don't want those. So I'll do that, and then we'll be ready to make our infused simple syrup. Cheryl, anything?
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead, if you don't mind, and finish up a couple of things I have that will finalize the rice. Let's take a peek at it and see how it's doing. It's looking really good. Still pretty moist. I have a timer on. And if you notice, we started out on the front burner. It has a lot more power than the back one. So whenever I'm simmering things, I put it on my back one because I can get that flame uber low. So it's just going to sit there. It's got a few more minutes to go. A couple of garnishes that we're going to do for the rice to finish it off. We've talked about zesting before. A microplane is your best friend. You can use it for garlic. You can use it for citrus, whatever you want. But ginger's a good one too. It's a really nice way to get something really fine, get those oils kicked in, get the aromatics going. So I'm just going to get some of this. So that's going to be a garnish. And don't freak out. I rinsed off my knife while you guys were gone, dancing with Paul. So the garlic is not part of it. The other thing I'm going to use for, in addition to this, is cilantro. And I don't ever mind having a little bit of the stems in there. You know, to me, it's like having broccoli. The stems are just as good as the florets. So never be afraid to leave those in there. Give that a nice chop. You can do this as rough as you want to if you like your pieces larger. My mom can't stand cilantro. She's one of those that can't handle it. So we get a little modification when we start putting dishes together for the family. All righty. So that's ready. And you probably saw me stirring something while we were off camera. I took a little bit of agave and some lime juice, and that's going to become, I use the term vinaigrette. That's going to be kind of the vinaigrette for the rice when we finish it. And the last thing that I'm going to do on the very top when we're done is we're going to have a little bit of green onion. Now, my husband loves having green onions on the bias because it's prettier. And of course, anything prettier makes it taste better. So I'm going to show you, we're going to do this on the bias.
What does that mean, bias?
You're cutting it at an angle. You see how it kind of looks like the tip of a pencil?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're on the bias, not straight across. All righty.
They're still moving.
All right, so all of our stuff's ready for the rice to be done. And who are we going next to? Are we going back to MK?
Let's check in with Paul and MK.
Okay, so the Instant Pot just finished cooking the chicken in the enchilada sauce. This is the most satisfying part of having an Instant Pot, is releasing the pressure. So everyone feast your eyes right here. You won't be able to miss it, but it's very hot, so you have to be careful. But steam comes out, can you tell? So it's releasing all the pressure. It also releases all the smells, which are so good. Steam.
Lots of steam.
Lots of steam.
Still going.
Yep.
Can you get an Insta-pot facial with that? Is that what you do, MK?
What?
A facial in that
Oh, a
steam?
facial, right? I think it would, I'd get a whole
Melt.
new face. It would melt my whole face off.
So you got
It's
15,
very hot.
15 seconds on these guys.
Okay, go ahead and open that up and pull those out. Paul is taking the tortillas out of the oven. Go ahead and open it up.
Okay, Casey. Good.
Tortillas. Gonna let those cool a little bit. Once this is done and I can open it, I'm gonna take the chicken out, let it cool for a bit so that we can shred it to put into the tortillas. We're gonna remove the, oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, here, let me get a top shot of that.
Yeah. Just taking our pieces of chicken
Move the
out.
plate a little bit to the left just so I can see it in the. Yeah.
Sure.
Cool.
And it is hot. All right, I'm going to set these aside to cool a bit. I'm going to have Paul help me remove, turning off the Instant Pot, remove the sauce and put it into another dish so that we can keep going. Do you
All right.
guys want to go back to?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go back to you guys if you ready.
Come on over, Amy. All right, so I'm ready to finish up a simple syrup. We've made simple syrup on the show. Actually, the last episode, I think the Hicks made simple syrup in their drink. So equal parts sugar and water. Typically 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water makes some simple syrup. It's been in the fridge. As I make this Poblano cilantro simple syrup, the most important thing is you don't want to put cilantro into hot simple syrup because that would, cook the cilantro and that would be gross. I'm going to pour 2 cups or as much as I've got here. About 2 cups of simple syrup. It's thick. You can see it's sugar. And I'm going to add it to our roasted poblano that we roasted already. And then right here, I have some fresh cilantro. And I'm going to just break off what I would call a shit ton.
Technical term?
Technical term that we use in the kitchen. A shit ton of cilantro, because you want to have some really good cilantro flavor. And I'm going to add that in here. And actually, you know what? Even the stems are good too, because then what I'm going to do is use our burr mixer. And we're going to mix that. We're going to mix that up. So
Now, are those seeds in there going to make it spicy?
it should pop. Poblanos aren't really all that spicy, but those seeds are in there mostly because I was lazy.
Okay.
And I didn't get them all out.
And we might go on mute because, guys, this is noisy.
All right, so we'll go on mute, and then we're going to burr up.
Okay, so we just dumped our enchilada sauce into this dish because I need half of it to put into the tortillas and half of it to put on top. So now I'm just going to start shredding this chicken. Not super exciting, but I'm going to try also not to eat it. And Paul's going to spray our baking dish, our 9x13, with the cooking spray.
With Pam, which is the next song by Steve Everett.
Stop. I think he was in the comments earlier.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh.
But I didn't mean that because it's a cooking thing. I meant it because he names songs after girls' names a lot. So
He does? Like what?
Amy, who's there right there. There's an Amy on that feed.
Yeah.
We have Jessica.
And
We
Juliet.
have Juliet. We have.
Okay, stop putting him on blast. Jeez.
So the next one should be Pam, Steve, if you're still here. But anyways, all right, I sprayed this. Now what do I do? Can I get some forks and shred with you, or?
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, let's shred.
Shred.
I usually like to shred on the guitar, but I can shred the chicken too. If you...
Here, should I put it here?
Can shred. Shredding. Oh, I guess I was gonna say we're just like shredding some chicken, but I don't know when their volume's gonna come back on, so we can talk about other stuff too.
Yeah.
Like what is the next step after we shred this chicken?
Can we shred?
Want us to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, good. What's that? We're just shredding chicken, so.
Okay. All right. So we're almost ready to make our margarita, but every drink is better if it has a fun rim around it. So as you're drinking it, you get some flavor from the rim. So this margarita has a chili, slightly spicy rim on it. So it's going to have these ingredients. So kosher salt. I think we've talked about this before. Morton salt is probably our favorite. Diamond is the other option. So I'm actually going to pour. Cheryl has laid out my proportions for me already, so I don't have to think about it. Half a cup of salt. And this is going to be obviously more than we need for 4 drinks is what we're making. So we're going to save this in a plastic bag, and we can use it whenever. So half a cup of kosher salt. We've got 1 whole teaspoon of table. How many teaspoons in a tablespoon?
I think it's 2.5,
3.
Yeah.
3. All right, so chili powder and cayenne. Obviously, cayenne
Be careful. Your lips are going to be touching it.
is hot, so
Don't, yeah.
1/4 teaspoon cayenne. And can I have
There's a
a
spoon.
spoon in there? All right. We're just going to mix that around.
And feel free to play with seasonings. There may be some spices that you want to turn this into that you like, whether it's garam masala. I mean, I can think of a bazillion different things that you could do from a flavor profile for a rim.
Over here on the plate, I just have water. You could use lime juice. Instead of putting it on a plate, you could just rim with some lime juice, but we're just going to get it wet all the way around. Make sure we get it on all the sides. And we're ready for a drink in that one. And we'll do all 4.
Need more salt on that. So it doesn't help.
How are we doing in California?
We're shredding chicken.
Still shredding chicken?
You get chicken fingers.
Still shredding chicken. We just finished shredding.
Yeah,
The chicken.
finished shredding the chicken. So Paul sprayed our baking dish for us. I'm going to take a.
Should this be on still? The
You can go ahead and preheat that again for 400, but it'll sit for a minute because we gotta assemble.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take a 1/4 cup of my enchilada sauce and just
let me get a
spread
top shot of
it
that. Hold on.
across the bottom. Kind of move it around.
Get a nice coating.
Yep. I'm one of those people who like overly sauces and puts condiments on things. Like if I'm putting it in ranch, I'm like dunking it in ranch. And I like more spaghetti sauce than noodles. That's just me. But okay, so we have that ready. Now we can start.
Oh, I didn't.
Hey, MK, are you using flour or corn tortilla?
So the recipe calls for corn, but Paul and I are not fans of healthier tasting things.
We like that flour.
So we like flour tortillas personally. So we're using flour tortillas, but
I'm the same way. I like flour tortillas better.
me
I've seen
too.
really fun corn tortillas, like corn tortillas flavored with beet juice and tomato juice and some things. But for me, they tend to be, I know they're more traditional, but they tend to be drier than flour. So yeah.
Yes, I think that's what it is too. And I feel like corn tortillas almost overtake the flavor of what's inside of it. Flour tortillas just enhance it. It's good. So we always do flour tortillas. But yeah, so now we are going to, let me see, I have about 4 cups of enchilada sauce. So we're going to start assembling.
Do you still need that?
No. Start assembling our enchiladas and putting them into our baking dish. Also, the recipe calls for adding cilantro into the enchilada sauce. We didn't do that because Paul doesn't like cilantro because he
Neither
said,
does Megan. I saw Megan on here. She said she doesn't like it either. Totally different reasons. I think if you guys are near the East Coast, like people watching, there's these little bugs called stink bugs. And that's what cilantro tastes like to me. The way they smell is the way cilantro tastes. I just can't get that out of my head. I'm very weird with random food items. And that's one of them.
I'm trying to cut your head off a little less.
That's fine. I can crouch. Take a little crouch right here.
Your quads are going to be sore.
It's all good. Gotta work them out.
Okay. So, I'm going to move these.
All right. So for assembly,
here
I can get a top shot. Get a little top shot over here.
I'm just going to take a tortilla, add
Some chicken.
some chicken. going to add some cheese. Lots of cheese.
Oh yeah.
And maybe like a little bit more enchilada sauce. Because we already discussed my problems. So, oops, I'm dripping. So I'm going to fold it. And when I put it in the dish, I'm putting it with the seam down so it basically doesn't come undone.
Hear that, y'all? Seam down.
Seam down.
So, boom. All right, now that I've shown the process from the top shot, I'll come help.
Thank you.
All right. It's just from this camera angle, it's a little difficult. Just basically in the way.
All right. We're going to use all the chicken, so
Okay.
put whatever feels right. And also do it so that when you roll it, it's skinnier so we can fit them all. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Mhm.
Are you guys ready to make a drink?
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
We figure we'll start having a little bit of imbibing while you guys finish up and get those in the oven.
All righty.
All right. Well, you're still doing
We've already
that.
spun it around once, so.
Right.
Um,
Roll it.
Yeah.
Well, I broke my shaker the other day, so I have this shaker, which is one drink at a time. So I'm going to make them one drink at a time. Most drinks, I'm a big fan of a classic daiquiri, which is rum and lime. And
That's
simple.
my favorite.
Love a daiquiri. We were drinking daiquiris yesterday.
Late into
So-
the night. Yes.
Almost all drinks tend to be 2 parts alcohol, 1 part sour, 1 part sweet. And so it doesn't matter really necessarily where we start, but I'm going to start with our tequila. So I have 3 tequilas here. My only reason to bring out 3 different tequilas are to say
Is to show off.
is to show off, is to say don't use this tequila or this tequila. This is mezcal. So Cheryl's a big fan of mezcal, and it's tequila, but it has a much smokier flavor because it's been cooked before it was turned into alcohol. This is you can make a margarita out of this, but it's great sipping. This clearly is a sipping margarita. I mean, sorry, a sipping tequila. And it's just too good to make into a drink. So Casamigos, which is originally it was the tequila created by
George Clooney.
He then sold the company for, I don't know, I think $1 billion, a lot. But anyways, it's really good, high quality tequila. It's an añejo. So you've got silver tequila, which is not aged at all. And añejo is typically aged in a barrel for
However many years.
I think about a year, yeah. Anyways, good sipping tequila. Don't use your good tequila to make margaritas with. Don't use a cheap tequila either. This is kind of a medium grade. So this one is a reposado, so it's got a little color to it, which means it's spent some time in a barrel, but not as much time as your añejo. So those are the 3 different types: silver, reposado, and then añejo,
The tortillas?
aged longer.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say the recipe. Sorry. Sorry, Bill.
That's all right. So we said 2 parts tequila. So I'm going to start with 2 parts. 1, 2. And then 1 part sour. So you watched us juice the limes. I will also say, please don't ever buy lime juice already juiced from the store. Just buy some limes and juice them. It's super easy to juice them. And now we've got our simple syrup that's been infused with poblano and shit ton of cilantro. It's super dark. Hopefully it's going to come out, and it does. We have our squirt bottle, our ketchup squirt bottle, which you can buy them at Walmart or any place. We use them for all kinds of things, but I've cut off the top because of the thickness of all the cilantro in it. So 1 shot of our poblano simple syrup, and it barely fits into our shaker. Put our top on. Try and make sure it doesn't spill all over myself.
It's like a shake weight, only with tequila. Some people may ask, how long are you supposed to shake it? I usually do until the metal is so cold I don't want to hold it anymore.
Yeah, so I had crushed ice in there because I want more surface area, and I want it to get as cold as I can because I don't have any ice in my glass. So there is our margarita.
I think we should have Todd taste test.
Okay.
Twist his arm.
All right, y'all. As I posted in the chat on behalf of BUNCEAROO, this is why I visit the Bunces. Cheers. Wow, I can taste that shit ton of cilantro. It's really good. Nice job.
Thank you, Todd. Your check's in the mail.
Back to them, or Cheryl, you want to take rice?
No, I think I see where they are as far as getting to the oven. We're back with you guys just to do.
All right, we're
So,
back. We're almost
We
done.
have a couple more to finish assembling. The oven is ready. Once we're done assembling these, we're gonna dump the rest of the enchilada sauce and a lot of cheese on top.
And throw it in the oven. How
and
long does
throw it in the
cook?
oven. Depending on how you like your cheese, I'm gonna cover it as well. I should have said that. It'll be covered and then put in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your preference of, do you want the cheese to be a little brown on top, or do you want it to be nice and gooey and cheesy and stretchy?
And we actually did a pretty good job of using all the chicken. Well, we'll just pick it this
Paul's
last
gonna eat this leftover chicken.
one. Okay, it's the last one.
Last one.
Just gonna squeeze it in here.
Let me get the other cheese.
This one is on its side, so they couldn't really get it in there like that.
I'm gonna show the camera.
Oh yeah, let's give you guys a better view of what's going on here.
Here, I'll move it to here.
So that's our dish with our enchiladas rolled up. We're gonna start now sprinkling
They're
cheese
snuggling.
and
No, I'm gonna do the sauce first.
the sauce first.
So I'm just going to pour it over
Okay.
the remaining amount, get it all nice and swimming in there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh yeah.
You're so weird.
I've always wanted to be on a cooking show. This has been pretty fun. We MK and I watch a lot of cooking shows. We're very large fans.
Yeah,
of,
shout out to the Brits, the British baking
Yeah,
show.
Colin, I saw you on here. We love
And Sarah's in there.
yeah,
I
and
think,
Sarah. But we love the Great British Baking Show. We're huge fans. We love Paul Hollywood, and we love
Mary Berry, but
Mary
she's gone. But the
Berry,
new lady Prue is great too.
Prue. Like, we love that show. I
know
nailed it was a
Cheryl.
crappy one, but
I know Cheryl likes to bake. Watching the British baking show has kind of scared me off from trying my hand at really baking anything other than boxed cupcakes and banana bread.
Don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. I owned
It's so intimidating.
No.
yeah, the banana bread she makes those super good.
Yeah.
We actually called Cheryl before we made the banana bread the first time because we couldn't find any flour other than almond flour. So I called Cheryl and was like, "How do I make this work with almond flour?" And it was still pretty good, but we ended up finding all-purpose flour.
Like the next
And yeah, we also put vanilla in it. Just a little bit of vanilla in the banana bread. Really sends it, you know. So yeah, now we cover the top and stick it in the oven, right?
Yeah. I want ours to be more like gooey cheese, so I'm gonna leave it covered the whole time. But if you want that like brown, crusty, burnt cheese layer on top, I would take off, if you're cooking it for 30 minutes, take it off for the last 10 minutes. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there.
All right, guys. So Billy made my drink, and mine is with mezcal because it happens to be my favorite, and I absolutely love the smoky overtones that provides.
Check it.
We'll take it from here, guys. If you can go on mute for just a second,
Yep.
we're going to finish up the rice.
Do you want to talk about Megan's question?
Megan did have a question that we're going to address having to do with the margaritas first. She said, can you do the simple syrup with just the poblano and not the cilantro? Absolutely. I know that Todd's manning the comments and has already put that in there. You could also do roasted jalapenos, depending on what, kind of sets your style or your flavor palette favorites. Feel free to use whatever you want to make the drink yours. All right, so the rice is done, and as you can see, it's dry, and it can separate. You can see the leaks in there. I've already removed the lime. Now we're going to add a little bit of that lime juice and agave. All righty. So you can see it glisten a little bit, which I love. I'm not looking for something to be so super wet, but I want that flavor profile in there. The next thing I'm going to do, I zested that lime. I'm going to add that in. That is also, since the rice is still warm, going to release the oil, give you a little bit more aromatic when you go to eat it. And now I'm going to add the cilantro. As you notice, the rice has been off the heat, so it's still warm. And so I'm not cooking the cilantro, but it'll be nice and warm, and it also has its own set of aromatics. For those of you that don't like the cilantro, to get that green colorization, you could substitute flat leaf parsley. It's going to give you a nice, fresh, aromatic, and it's going to give you that green color, but it's not going to give you the cilantro flavor you don't like. All right, so we're going to plate our dish. You can see the little bit of yellow and green coming through based on what we put in, based on the leeks, the cilantro, the lime zest. And then we are going to garnish with those lovely onions. And that is our dish. All right. Billy?
Yeah. So, do we have the enchiladas in the oven on your end?
Yeah. Do you unmute me?
Yep.
We did. We got 27 minutes? Is
Well,
that?
no, I just put it for 30 in case, but it won't take that long. But that rice looks so good. I really want some of that.
And just like a pro tip, especially for small spaces, I basically just follow MK if she's cooking and wash everything she uses, just because we run out of room pretty quick. And that way, when you're done eating, you don't have to clean anything up. But yeah, I think we just have a few more minutes on
That cheese.
So, Paul, I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about life as a musician, during and after COVID. Obviously, you've had probably shows canceled. What do you see in terms of, music returning to venues following COVID?
I think it's going to be way different. I think a lot more people are just going to sort of stick with live streams, I feel like, for a while. I don't think I think live streams are going to stay around. I think people will start going back to shows, but obviously these clubs are not going to be able to hold 100% capacity. So I think because of that, people are going to stay online until you can get full capacity, because it comes down at the end of the day to a money thing. So if you can only put 10 people in a club because of social distancing, why not just do it online where you can have a few hundred people? And people have been super generous. I've seen like all my friends that are doing these live streams and stuff. Like there's been so many people watching and sharing and helping us out, which is great. Personally, I've been lucky. I have a side hustle of making videos and editing videos for people and stuff. So I've had a lot of work still, but I do know a lot of my friends that have had no work. So it's a tricky time, but I do think that people are pulling together to help the artists in the community, at least that I'm a part of. I've witnessed a lot of.
I see that. In our last episode with Michelle and Gary Hanks from 7 Steps Up, obviously the venues, the independent music venues have been hit hard. I know Jam and Java from the Virginia area, venues like that are, maybe under 300 capacity. We talked about we're the first to close and will be the last to open. It turns out we have 2 festivals scheduled between now and the end of 2021. So those are definitely up in the air. At a minimum, we see half capacity because, even restaurants right now are open at half capacity. So whatever the capacity of that venue is, we can't imagine that we would put, more than half capacity there. Everyone wearing a mask. Things like that. But, for anybody wondering, Seascape with Carbon Leaf in August, the end of August is our next festival. We plan to make an announcement June 19th. So we're not there yet, but based on what the county is telling us and so on, we're going to make an announcement, thumbs up or thumbs down. Thumbs down probably will just be rescheduling for next year. We appreciate anybody who can, let their tickets ride to next year, but if that's not a possibility, obviously we'll be offering refunds if that happens, but that decision hasn't been made yet. The next one after that is the Alternate Routes Getaway, which is in October. We'll play it by ear as we get closer to that one, but we'd love to be back in a music venue, even with half the people that, we would normally want to have. And enjoy each other's company and music together. I think we could all use that these days.
Absolutely. I'm so ready to get back out there and start playing some shows again and stuff. It's been, like I said, the support has been great from people online. Lots of people tuning in, sharing, but there's nothing like, performing for people, hugging people.
Yeah, we miss everyone.
Yeah, we just miss the whole community, miss all of our friends. We love our lifestyle and what we're doing. And the reason we started doing this full-time RV thing a couple of years ago was in order to, just have more fun, cool experiences. And so this has definitely been something that's slowed that down, but we're hopeful for the future.
Well, as promoters, 2 of the things that brings us the most joy is watching the artists interact, as well as our guests interact. So that's a big loss for us. Just seeing everybody come together and collaborations and, just all of the goodwill that occurs during these types of performances.
Just so many good vibes. And I know for like a lot of the people that go to these events, like they might go to like 1 or 2 events a year. Some people definitely go to way more, which is awesome. But for us, it's like it's like a constant, like each one of those festivals, each one of those house concerts, each one of those shows is like we're reliving that same, like just super fun, loving time every night. And so definitely there've been some like withdrawals from that, but it is what it is. And we just got to do what we can to get through it. And if staying home and wearing masks and stuff is the way to do it, I'm all for it.
Us too.
Can't agree more.
Yeah. So,
Hey, Paul,
do your
you
part.
wanna
Yeah.
give the folks on the line a quick just turn around of the camera to show them what Arvitha now looks like after you guys renovated her?
Do it, and you can.
Absolutely. She'll, MK is going to move the camera. But basically, like, so where the camera is, that's the front of the RV. And if you want to just do quick spin, you can show them our setup. Like, you're also super zoomed in too. So just, but yeah, like, so I have like a little stand up desk at the front and I'll use that monitor up top. As this is my little computer area. But if you flip it around, oh sweet, that's
there we go.
super helpful. But yes, that's the front door to the right. Those are our chairs for when we're driving in it. But yeah, and if you flip it back around, so this is like the kitchen area. Obviously, we have like our living room over here. MK's spot, like that she doesn't move from, is right here. She has like a lap desk. She just sits there and works and watches TV, and everything is right in the world. This also pulls out into a super duper comfy pull-out bed. Steve Everett, if he's still in the comments, has slept on it. A bunch of our friends have stayed with us. Very cozy. This, like the dining area per se, is also sometimes if I have to sit down and work. And like I was just recording a song for my mom yesterday, for the past couple weeks actually. This is like my work desk, but it's also supposed to be dinner as well. Dinner table. Towards the further back, which we don't have enough cable to go back there, that's our bedroom. This little thing right here, this is our washer dryer. Our shower is like right on the other side of this wall. Bathroom. But that's like bedroom stuff. If you guys do want a fuller tour of the RV, there is a YouTube video on my YouTube channel, and it's I think I forget what it is. It's part 2. There's like part 1 and part 2. I think it's like We Made It is what it's called, and plus the RV tour. But I did a whole RV tour in like slow-mo and synced up to music and stuff, and showed each aspect. So if you guys want to see the full thing, you can check that out as well. Yeah, and we have a Instagram page. RVSPECT is our Instagram handle. If you want to see the renovation, we have the whole renovation. Have all the video and pictures we took from the renovation up there, and then we just post stuff from our travels on there. So if you want to check that out, I feel like most of the people in these comments that I've seen, like Sarah, Megan, Debbie, they're all friends with us. They've all seen those pages. But if you do want to see more, check out YouTube, check out Instagram.
Thanks.
Awesome. How's our enchiladas doing? We're not
Good. What's like? I
How
mean,
much time
it
has
says 18, but I don't know what you put.
so
What you
it's
started
been
with.
in for 12 minutes. So I would probably check it in like 5 or so to see how that cheese is doing. Let's
Yeah, but I
see.
mean,
can take a peek,
for
but-
purposes of the live, if we need to, like, we can pop it out and look at it. But really, like the last step, like it's just a preference level of how you want your cheese to be melted on top.
Yeah,
So it still needs more time.
just a little bit more time. That cheese is melting really, really well on there now. So it really only needs a minute or 2 more, it looks like. Yeah.
That's awesome.
How about y'all? What's going on over there?
We
They made
are.
they made the rice.
Do you
So
eat
our-
and drink y'all yet? Are you guys drunk?
As soon as we're done here, we're going to be heading over to our neighbors for a fish fry tonight. So
Oh, fancy fancy.
we've got 5 pounds of shrimp. We've got grouper.
Oh, we've got grouper, we've got flounder, and we've got scallops.
Flounder.
We'll have hush
Gosh.
puppies, potato salad, chips, dip, and I think some chicken fingers are going to get in there. I don't know how that happened, but we have a couple of people that don't do fish.
Nothing wrong with a little chicken finger.
That sounds like so much fun.
So that we'll cook all of that on 2 deep fryers outside.
Nice.
And we do it with our neighbors and actually the whole cul-de-sac. Probably maybe once a month. It seems like we've been doing it.
Yeah.
And it's a ton of fun. So that's what we're doing today.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun.
The only thing we've really done other than grocery shop is we did for my birthday go have sushi with Connor on his roof at his apartment. So we're still outside, and he's right in the middle of Hollywood, so we could see. It was a really beautiful sunset. But yeah, at least in California, everything is still super restricted and enforced. So.
And as of late, there's been curfews
with-
each evening. So
With all the riots and stuff and
Right.
the protesting. So, but luckily that has sort of calmed down. But we were getting these alerts every day, in the morning, being like curfew at 5 p.m. And we're like, okay, well, I mean, we can't go anywhere anyways because of social distancing and the lockdown that we're under. But it was just a little reminder for us. So.
Well, we have a couple more minutes, and then we'll let everybody go. I can't get over how wonderful that looked. I mean, the shredded chicken, how quickly it went.
We'll take like a little.
Fine Insta-pot. MK.
You've got to get an Instant Pot. It's not cheating. It's working smarter, not harder.
Yeah,
it's great.
we're just like efficiency, like, and it still tastes good. But what was I was gonna say something and now I forget.
What? Oh, we can take like a picture of
Oh,
it
yeah, I was
and
gonna
put
say,
it in the comments.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll take a picture if people gotta go or like it's. I get we've gone over by a little bit, but also we could post it to our story on our RV page on Instagram or Facebook. But
Yep,
we'll
and
definitely.
we're going to post the recipes for everything later today. And I think we have
That's
a
fine, okay.
lovely video that you've done for us, right? Oh, it sounds like it's
So
done.
ready?
Sorry, you guys. I think we froze. I don't know if you can see us. You guys froze. Oh, there. Are you there? So you
Yeah,
said
we're here.
you're gonna post the recipe on Facebook here.
On Facebook, on
Yep.
Fork Mike Knife. Yep.
Yep.
Cool. When you do that, we can drop a picture of it in the comment under that.
Do they
That's
want us-
brilliant. We'll take
Yeah,
pictures of ours as well.
look. It's we got some melted cheese here.
Yay.
Oh,
Look at that.
oh yeah.
Lovely.
We're-
Well, we have a video that you provided us, Paul, that we'd love to share with everybody as we say goodbye. Everyone, be kind, be safe, love one another, and we'll see you again on Father's Day with Amy.
Amy Hack. I mean, no, that's Amy Hack.
Amy Gerhardt.
Amy Gerhardt.
And she
That's
may
awesome.
have a special guest with her. So we're really looking
Ooh.
forward to that. Paul, MK, this has been incredible. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for having us.
so
This was
much.
super
This was
fun.
great.
Now we can't wait to eat these enchiladas. But we
I'm
love
gonna
you.
eat the rice.
Okay.
Oh, I'm jealous. It looks so delicious.
I'm gonna drink the drinks.
But thank you guys so much for tuning in, everybody that's still here. We appreciate you. We love you. There will be more music on the way, more live streams and stuff like that on the way. But yeah, we really appreciate you tuning in, and we can't wait to eat these enchiladas.
All right, here we go. Have a great one, everyone.
At first I wasn't sure, but when in my but now I'm thinking you and I can be together. Oh, now, baby, let's be happy to be. Wake me in the morning, babe, with a kiss on my cheek. Listening to the morning rain that put us to sleep. Oh, now, darling, you make me happy to be. Wake me in the morning, babe, with a kiss on my cheek. Yeah. Listening to the morning rain that put us to sleep. Oh, now, darling, you make me happy to be. Oh, now, darling, how you make me so happy to be.